way, she is not going to make this easy on us. Where is...
Until Death Do Us Part is imagined as a dark, gripping, and emotionally intense thriller that twists the traditional idea of love and marriage into something dangerous and haunting. The movie is envisioned as a story where commitment becomes a trap, vows turn into weapons, and love is tested at its most extreme limits. Rather than presenting marriage as comfort or security, the film explores what happens when a relationship built on passion, secrets, and obsession begins to collapse under its own weight. The tone is tense, moody, and relentlessly suspenseful, designed to keep the audience uneasy from beginning to end. At its core, Until Death Do Us Part is about control, fear, and survival. The story centers on a woman who enters marriage believing she has found stability, love, and a fresh start. In the early stages, the relationship appears intense but romantic, filled with devotion and emotional closeness. However, subtle signs of imbalance begin to surface. What once felt like protection slowly transforms into possession, and affection starts to carry an unsettling edge. The film carefully builds this shift, showing how manipulation often disguises itself as love. The central character is portrayed as intelligent, resilient, and emotionally complex. She is not naive, but like many people in intense relationships, she ignores red flags in favor of hope. Her emotional journey is one of gradual awakening, as she begins to realize that the life she committed to may be impossible to escape. The movie treats her perspective with seriousness and empathy, allowing the audience to experience her fear, confusion, and determination from the inside. The husband character is imagined as charismatic and deeply unsettling. Outwardly charming and confident, he appears devoted and protective, earning trust from those around him. Beneath the surface, however, he is controlling, unpredictable, and driven by a need for dominance. The film avoids portraying him as a simple villain, instead exploring the psychology behind his behavior. His actions are fueled by insecurity, obsession, and a warped understanding of love, making him all the more terrifying. Supporting characters play an important role in reinforcing the themes of isolation and disbelief. Friends and family members are shown at a distance, often unaware of the true nature of the marriage. When concerns are raised, they are dismissed or minimized, reflecting how difficult it can be for victims to be believed. These interactions add realism to the story, highlighting how easily dangerous situations can remain hidden behind closed doors. The plot begins with the couple's wedding and early married life, presented with a polished, almost dreamlike quality. Moments of happiness feel genuine, creating a sense of emotional investment before the tension begins to rise. Gradually, the cracks appear through controlling behavior, invasive questions, and subtle threats masked as concern. The film uses small, intimate moments to build dread rather than relying on immediate violence. As the story progresses, the protagonist becomes increasingly isolated. Her movements are monitored, her choices questioned, and her independence slowly stripped away. The house that once felt like a home begins to resemble a prison. The setting plays a crucial role in the film's atmosphere, with confined spaces, locked doors, and shadowy interiors reinforcing the sense of entrapment. Silence becomes as threatening as confrontation. Midway through the movie, a triggering event forces the protagonist to confront the reality of her situation. Whether it is an act of violence, a shocking revelation, or an attempted escape, this moment marks a shift from denial to survival. From this point on, the film transforms into a high-stakes psychological and physical thriller. The protagonist begins to plan, observe, and prepare, realizing that escape will require intelligence, courage, and sacrifice. The tension escalates as mind games between the couple intensify. Conversations become layered with double meanings where every word carries risk. The husband's behavior grows more erratic, while maintaining a convincing public image. This duality increases the sense of danger as the protagonist cannot rely on outside help without risking further harm. The film excels in portraying the fear of being trapped with someone who knows you intimately and uses that knowledge against you. Themes of power and autonomy are woven throughout the narrative. The movie examines how control can be exercised emotionally, psychologically, and physically. It also explores the societal pressure surrounding marriage, particularly the idea that vows are sacred and unbreakable. By twisting the phrase "until death do us part" into something literal and threatening, the film challenges romanticized notions of commitment and exposes their darker potential. As the story moves toward its climax, the pace quickens. Escape attempts become more desperate and the stakes rise dramatically. The protagonist's transformation is central here as she shifts from fear to resolve. Her growth is not portrayed as sudden or unrealistic, but as the result of accumulated pain and determination. Every decision she makes feels earned and grounded in survival instinct. The climax of Until Death Do Us Part is imagined as intense, brutal, and emotionally charged. Set within a confined environment, the final confrontation strips away all pretenses. The husband's true nature is fully revealed, and the protagonist is forced to confront him directly. This confrontation is as psychological as it is physical, representing a final struggle for control, identity, and freedom. Rather than offering a clean or triumphant victory, the resolution is somber and reflective. Survival comes at a cost, leaving emotional scars that cannot be easily erased. The film acknowledges trauma without sensationalizing it, showing that escape does not automatically mean healing. The ending emphasizes resilience and self-worth, suggesting that reclaiming one's life is a process rather than a single moment. Release date discussions imagine Until Death Do Us Part as a tense thriller aimed at mature audiences who appreciate character-driven suspense. The film is positioned as a serious exploration of toxic relationships, rather than a conventional slasher or action-heavy thriller. Its timing is envisioned to align with audiences seeking intense, thought-provoking stories that linger after the credits roll. Trailer information surrounding the movie is imagined as dark and minimalist. Previews focus on brief glimpses of intimacy turning cold, unsettling dialogue, and moments of silent tension. Music is slow and ominous, building dread without revealing key plot twists. The trailers emphasize mood and psychological unease, inviting viewers into a story that promises danger beneath romance. Visually, the film is imagined with muted colors, sharp contrasts, and claustrophobic framing. The camera often lingers on faces, hands, and small details, heightening emotional tension. Sound design plays a critical role, using quiet moments, distant noises, and sudden shifts to keep viewers on edge. The overall aesthetic reinforces the sense of a beautiful surface hiding something deeply disturbing. Overall, Until Death Do Us Part is imagined as a powerful and unsettling thriller that redefines the meaning of commitment. By focusing on psychological tension, character depth, and emotional realism, the movie delivers a story that is both terrifying and deeply human. It serves as a cautionary tale about control disguised as love, and a testament to the strength required to reclaim one's freedom. If executed as envisioned, Until Death Do Us Part has the potential to resonate strongly with audiences, leaving them questioning where devotion ends and danger begins long after the final scene fades.